So today we have Dan Paterno is presenting for us. Dan has a couple of different businesses that he's doing, although you look very fashionable even with them on your head. So however you want to leave your glasses is good. Anyway, Daniel Paterno, you're on. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Daniel Paterno, and I'm excited to share my career journey with you and show you how I've learned to connect the dots. Steve Jobs said you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. I started my professional graphic design journey at Champaign-Urbana, University of Illinois. Graduated with the BFA in graphic design in '87. So after that, I interviewed for a little while in graphic design. Didn't get a job, I didn't interview very much. But at the behest of my mother, I went to beauty school because she knew I cut hair at college for fun and for grocery money. So I went to a neighborhood beauty school. And after that, I was lucky enough to get into a downtown salon. And at the downtown salon, I worked my way up to education manager, and it was a departmentalized salon, meaning that you either cut or you did color. So around the same time, early 90s, I was introduced to the personal computer, which really had a lot to do with continuing my graphic design career, because before that, it all depended on how much Letraset you had or Zip-A-Line you had, but with the computer, it was pretty much endless. So at that salon, since I was doing computer-aided design, I started doing some of their marketing and did book covers and some posters. And then after that salon, so I started to do some marketing at the salon I was at. It was called Maxine's. It was a very fancy downtown salon. And then around that same time too, I started a dream job of mine, which was with a company called Today's Best Hair. And what they did was they created posters for salons. And it was a subscription service. And I was kind of their one-stop shop. I actually did the hair for the posters, and I also did a lot of their marketing. All right, so Today's Best Hair, that went on for about 12 years. That was a great job. And then, I was also working at the other salon at the same time. So I was at Maxine's, then I went to another salon, and that was a great opportunity for me to change my schedule. So I had more time to devote to my design business. I kind of started a schedule there that was 4 days a week. And so as lines started to blur, I was doing more and more marketing for both salons.
Tell me where I'm going.
And then that one. And then, so I left that salon, the second salon I was at for 17 years. I did their web design, I did their marketing, I was their education director. I started my own salon suite in downtown Chicago, which, if you don't know, it's sort of its own little room, and it was sort of my little pet project. It's kind of the Dan show. I did all the marketing, all the business development, all the hairstyling. So that was a lot of fun, learned a lot. And then here I am today in Albuquerque. Sort of the same thing. I actually was fortunate enough to find another salon suite that I was able to set up. It's in Nob Hill. And kind of the same thing.
This one?
Yeah. It's my own, my own business. I do my own marketing. I'm sort of underneath this other brand, Cabello Beauty. So I kind of added my name to it just to kind of differentiate a little bit. And then this is my graphic design business today, which has been since 1990. And pretty traditional stuff. I do branding, positioning, started doing social media marketing, print and digital design, motion graphics, and some web. And here's a couple before and afters. This is a local business. They're modern designs, so of course they needed to look more modern. So we kind of cleaned things up. The next one, this is our friend JJ. Yeah, I helped him with the brown label design. And then this was actually a little logo I proposed to him which kind of got my foot in the door. And then the next one, this is also a local business. He's a French jewelry designer, and he does what's called freehand jewelry design. So of course we wanted to illustrate his illustration. Here's some other local designs. This is just like in the last year. And what else? So today's challenge is, with my two businesses, in the salon, of course, I'm looking for people with hair, I'm looking for clients. I would say my ideal client, I've affectionately termed her as a doctor's wife.
That would be me.
You know, a mature woman. A mature woman who enjoys the regular and frequent peaceful and private salon visits. I'm also looking for hair-related collaborations like fashion shows, session work, even photography. And then my design business challenges, looking for local and national clients. And I'd say my ideal client is probably a newer business that's looking to tighten up or enhance their existing marketing and branding. And then obviously looking for design-related collaborations for exposure. And that's it. Here's my contact.
Good job.
Thank you.
I'll start with, if you have questions, you have comments, you want to make suggestions, please come up, hold the mic like Paul does, in front of your mouth, although I always want to drop it a little bit for people that read lips, so don't, just kind of manage that. But come up, form a line over here, let's ask Daniel some questions. What's coming up for you all? And I'll start. So of the design and the hair, are they equal? Are you looking to grow one more than the other? Tell me a little bit about where wave your magic wand. Where do you see those?
I would say probably I've always looked at the salon business as sort of a bread and butter. It's something I can kind of count on a little bit more. The design business is always, honestly, it really started as kind of a passion hobby of mine that kind of grew and turned into its own business. So so they're both pretty equal, I would say.
Okay. And I ask that because I know a woman who's a hair designer and hairdresser, and she says, "I will die behind this chair." I mean, is that where you see yourself dying, is behind the chair, or where do you what's going to outgrow the other? Are they going to stay stable?
I would think maybe just physically, that hairdressing is a little bit more physically demanding, so I might die behind my keyboard actually instead.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Scoot this way just a little bit when you take questions so they can see you on stage.
Hello, Daniel.
Hi.
Danielle with Conscious Crossroads End of Life Services. I'm really just here for a plug. He does my hair.
Yeah.
So I hope it looks good at the moment because I didn't look in the mirror before I got up and said that. I love your salon as well. That's really big for me. I am not a doctor's wife, and I am also not somebody that comes frequently enough, but just getting to be in that little kind of private space, it's really simply decorated and appointed. There's not a lot of stimuli. There's not like doof, doof, doof music going on. Like I've been in salons like that where it's just, so I just want to give you a huge plug for all of that.
Thank you.
And I want to encourage you to do some more of the design stuff. The few things that I've seen that you've done are really, really good. And so for those of us out there that are looking for more of it, I really highly encourage people to look to Daniel. That was all, just plugs.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Love
you.
it.
Yes, I really wanted to make the salon suite. I kind of said I felt like I brought a little bit of Chicago here, but it's it's simple. I feel like it's a little modern. I think it's a little kind of a notch up, hopefully.
Come up this way a bit, Daniel. The star is not in the right spot. There we go. Try that.
Hi, Dan.
Howdy.
Great job. Loved your simplicity and also loved your design work and your presentation. I'm Dr. Norm with new name, Brain Health with Dr. Norm.
Oh. Did
I'm-
Daniel help you with that?
No, unfortunately, I had to go through some trial and error, trademark issues, and chat GPT and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, there I am. I'm in the dementia defense business. I love your design, and I want to, I'm going to get a hold of you because I've got some stuff I need to have work on. I remember when we talked one time about a month ago, you said, no, you may not want to brag on yourself, but I thought you said when you were in California, or at least you worked with some big stars, and you helped take care of their hair and some of that stuff. Did I misunderstand that, or do you just not want to brag about that?
No, you did.
I misunderstood.
The only celebrity I've ever done their hair. So for that business with the posters, we used to go to New York about six times a year, and we'd shoot like 6 models a weekend. It was very cool. The most famous person that we shot was Beth, and she was the girlfriend of Howard Stern, and I think she still is.
Wow.
Okay, no, sorry, I misunderstood.
But thank you, that would be fun.
Okay.
Hello, Daniel. Miriam Ortiz Pino, More Than Organized. We had a conversation earlier about branding, but take branding out of your graphic design thing. What's your favorite kind of graphic design to do? Like, is it print stuff, the posters and that kind of stuff? Or is it more website stuff? Like, what's your sweet spot for graphic design?
So taking branding out of it, and branding, I'm thinking you're meaning like logos and sort of like
Right.
original designs. I mean, I would say posters and book covers. I love
Okay.
posters. I've done posters for, marketing posters for the San Diego Gaymen's Chorus for like 25 years. And that's always a lot of fun because there's some constraints, you know, you kind of keep some things always the same, but the designs were just always all over the place depending on what the concert was about, and stylistically they're all over the place. So I'd probably say posters.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Daniel. John Patrick.
Howdy.
So I got a question. This is a little bit of a devil's advocate. I love what you do. And for some people out there, it's like, well, why two businesses? Is it confusing? You know, it's like, well, you have this business, you have this business. And it's not too confusing for me, but there are some people out there would say, well, blend it into one business so that it makes it easier to manage. So maybe imaging with Daniel. Image consultant, I don't know. But what I think is really cool is that you cover arts and people's cosmetic look, and then you also do like the other side of their marketing. And I think having the two separate businesses and trying to grow them can seem very challenging. And what is the biggest challenge that you have separating because people don't come in and get a haircut and then you're selling them the brochure, or do you do that?
I'm totally with you. I've sort of, I don't want to say struggled with it, but that's always a thing that's been with me for years and years. I feel like two businesses, first of all, confuses people. So I really try and think of like, what could they be a customer for? And that's sort of what I focus on. I was going to say something last week, or I don't remember. There was something about two businesses, and I was going to say, I was going to pose the question, like, how do people sort of handle that and deal with that? I mean, honestly, I kind of treat them as two separate businesses. I do one on one day, you know, I do one on 3 days, and then the other 3 days I do the other business. So it's kind of easy to keep things separated like that. And to your point about the imaging, I should probably look at that again. You know, I do photography too, sort of portrait photography. And I thought that was something great for like LinkedIn, you know, business women looking for a makeover and then photos and, you know, kind of a glamour shot sort of thing. So I should look at that again. I mean, there's a lot of things I could kind of put some energy into.
So I guess another question is for doing it's pretty obvious people come in to do hair because they see the salon. So how do they get access to you through the marketing and branding and graphic stuff?
So I may wait like their second or third appointment before playing that card. If I feel like somebody is like really involved with their business, maybe first time meeting them, I will mention it. Maybe I'll do a follow-up kind of like separate from any salon communications, just so it feels like a little bit more separate. But I do try and overlap them because, as we all know, businesses are built on relationships. And, you know, if somebody likes me for hair, you know, they may like me, you know, my other business too. So, yeah, I do try and overlap where it's appropriate.
And lastly, because I used to be a video guy, so how does the motion graphics fit into that work?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So motion graphics is pretty much everything post. I don't do any, I do a little bit of like initial footage, but you know, I'm not a videographer, I'm not a wedding photographer. I'll take all the stuff and then put it together that way. You know, I use it as much as I can. I enjoy it, it's a lot of fun. So, yeah, it's awful to say, but I'm perfectly happy hiding behind my keyboard in my office. I don't want to, you know, I feel pretty powerful there actually, so.
Well, congratulations on all the talent you have and that you're able to share it with the world. It's really important, so
Thank you. Appreciate
good
that.
luck.
Thank you.
Hey, Phil, you can ask your question now.
Hi, Phil Wilton. I was curious about your first slide. It's like you've got a Steve Jobs quote that said, you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect the dots looking backwards. And I have a lot of Steve Jobs quotes in my head, but that's one I'm kind of thinking I don't agree with, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But I would like to know why you showed that slide, how it applies to you and your business now. And why I don't agree with it was there were two products, there are many products that Apple did, but two products that Steve Jobs connect dots looking forward. One was an iPod, where he actually produced a device that you could put your whole record collection on, and that took the market away from MP3 players, Walkmans and Discmans and all that kind of stuff. And the other one was the iPhone, where he put together the future, looking at what was going to connect the dots going forward, was music, email, and an operating system onto an iPhone. So I'm kind of in turmoil about that Steve Jobs quote, because I don't believe that he was looking back when he was doing those two devices. He was looking forward. But what was the relevance of that slide to your presentation in the two businesses that you got?
Thank you. You know, actually, there was one slide that got missed in there. I was a florist for like 15 years, and I did the last half of my business time there. I did all the giftware buying and displays and merchandising and all that stuff. So, you know, I always felt like that was kind of a dot in my career that sort of added to the salon life, which is a total retail experience. So, but I'm not that familiar with too much of Steve Jobs' stuff, but I could totally see that. I mean, he definitely was sort of a forecaster with a lot of things. But I just always thought that quote was kind of fun, because I felt like I was doing sort of a bunch of disparate things over the point of my career. And, you know, they've come together at a couple times really greatly.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Thank you.
Thanks, Phil. Come on up.
Steve, Saturday Fast Week / videographer. I was wondering, you know, we're about the same age, but now that we have Fiverr, how's that affecting your business? Is that something you participated in? Because I know a lot of people are looking for the cheapest way to go a lot of times. So.
Yes, I mean, I've used them for like some voiceover stuff. I think it's a great resource. I think we just have to keep promoting, you know, our experience. You know, I tell people I have years of experience with consumer behavior, consumer habits, you know, contemporary design styles. You know, you can't get that from a 22-year-old. And I don't know, I just have to hang my hat on that and hope that I'm aligned with the client that's going to appreciate that.
That's great.
But yeah, there's so much of that stuff. It's kind of wild.
Cool. Thanks. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Andrew Moser. I'm with Sacred Parents Acupuncture. So my question is, you said your ideal customer is the doctor's wife. You may have talked about this already a little bit, but what kind of things have worked for you to try and get that ideal customer?
I'm trying to get into some markets where I think they live. I'm learning sort of North Valley is probably kind of my ideal client. I've had some people from Rio Rancho could be ideal clients. I think just kind of keeping my ears open and casting a wide net. I was fortunate enough, I actually had a radio commercial on Oasis and on the 80s channel. I bartered actually with that New Mexico, Radio New Mexico logo. And that brought in a few people kind of, I don't know if I could afford it without doing that little barter. Just kind of this stuff, meeting people, learning, offering free haircuts sometimes to somebody that you think would have a good circle. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Jay Pullen, New Path Wellness. A little different thought than what you just were talking about, a consciousness issue in my mind. You talked about the doctor's wife. Sounds kind of 60s and 70s-ish to me. Why not go for the doctor? Mm-hmm. But that actually led my thoughts to some other women that are professionals, but at the same time trying to market themselves, such as a realtor, a politician, or so forth. You could not only do the hair, but the graphics for all of their advertising. It's like 2 for 1. A package deal. Great hairdo, great style, great presentation, and here it is with great graphics.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, to that point, I have to get my butt on LinkedIn and just work it a lot more because, yeah, that's great advice. I think I've always felt maybe in Chicago, I had sort of the doctor's wives sitting in my chair, so I just sort of felt that. But yeah, no. Actually, I would just say that and a professional woman, who needs to look a certain way at all times, sort of my ideal client. Thank you.
Yeah, because the doctor could be your client too, right? So I've seen Daniel for hairdressing, and he sold me because one day he walked up to me and he commented on my hair, and I said, "Oh, I'm trying to grow my bangs out, and this is brutal." And he's like, "Well, if I were going to do your hair, I would do this," and he did this, and he's describing. I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so I went and I made an appointment. I left the haircut the very next day at the grocery store. Some woman walked up to me. She's like, "Where do you," it was a drag queen, "Where do you get your hair done? Oh my God, it's glorious." And I was like, wow, thank you. So that was really fun. I never confused your two businesses because your business card, one side is your hairdressing, the other side is your design. So I always understood how you connected the dots. And I believe that you sell those services. Well, you're really good at selling hairdos, I know that, but you just help make things more beautiful, right? You create beauty, whether it's in graphics, design, anything for your business, or whether you're helping a person feel better about their hair. So, thank you.
Wow. Yeah, I struggled with the business card thing because I know it's a lot. I mean, from a design standpoint, but I felt like, here I am in a new community. I got to do something. So I kind of pulled out all the stops.
Yeah.
And so my newest card, I've never had a photo on my business card, but, pulled out all the stops. I'm like, all right, I got to connect the face. And then I have the 2 brands on the other side. So
Good.
yeah.
Good.
Hey, Ken Jackson, City of Albuquerque Small Business Office, Raising the Bar podcast. Couple ideas as I was listening to you. Have you looked at 55 and older communities? So my thought process is going to those communities, seeing if maybe you can set up in the, I almost called it playground. What do you call the?
Clubhouse.
Clubhouse, there you go, someone said, Miriam. Clubhouse, maybe doing consultations there. Those are the individuals that most likely are retired or looking to retire, so they have the income, right? So, and the check is faster than any other way. And it may be a way to actually tap into those communities on a consistent basis, where now you're not running around, you're just going to specific communities on a regular basis and then providing a solid service. The other thing, taking care of my mother and my father through the years of dementia and Alzheimer's, at elderly or assisted living places, right? Me and my sister would go and do my mother's hair, things like that. That is money that is in-house. So you could work a deal with some assisted living places, potentially coming in, doing some hair for the older generation. They have the money because they're paying to stay there, right? So maybe rolling your services into possibly the monthly services for some of the staff, and then actually you could actually be the person that provides this service for the entire location. And then you could actually be that person and they can just roll it or give people the option to use your services as well. Again, the check is right there. They're paying to stay anyway, so you know they have the income and it's gonna come every month. So just the thought process, how can I get to the money faster and who's gonna write the check? And if you can provide that service to those types of folks and those types of individuals. The other thing is I would visit multi-generation facilities. So Dominguez, whatever it is, off of Paseo, right? You have. Thank you very much, man. It's a tougher game today. So Domingo Baca building, right? That's multi-generational. They have the facility, they have the staff, and then they have the actual customer base that I believe pay to be there. But if not, you know they have the income level within that area, and you can provide the service to those individuals. So you might want to target. So if you only have one marketing dollar, we got to bring 10 back. And I would search out ways to bring 10 back from every one marketing dollar. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool, and we can talk later.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Cool. I love all that. You know, in my early hair days, I was schlepping to houses doing hair. It's not my favorite thing to do. I mean, I kind of feel like I like my salon because it's part of the whole gig, you know, and I kind of like sharing that with people. But, you know, I would be open maybe like one day to like spend 6 hours somewhere, and yeah, we'll talk. I'll look into that. And to the point of the two businesses, I've done a couple of the business fairs, and I didn't even have any hair stuff, you know, it was all graphic design. But, you know, if you start talking to somebody and it seems to kind of go there, then I was also a hairdresser, so.
Brian Steiner, Momentum Custom Software. Thanks for giving your talk. So I just really thought Ken's idea was amazing. We had one client in assisted living, and they just were constantly interested in meeting, pushing things forward, almost just as so that they had something to do. So, you know, I think that the fact that, you know, all those points that he brought up would be a really good reason to go after that, because it just, yeah, they have money, they have time. I think it would be a great idea. My question is probably more related to about 3 people in the room, but I just wondered what tech stack you use for building out your web projects.
I did WordPress years ago. I just do Wix sites now, and I know it's may not seem that professional, but it sort of works for me.
Yeah,
and I can hand it off to clients, and they can get in there and make some easy changes. So I don't even know what a tech stack is.
Just Wix.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Brooke Nutting with Deaf Doula Professionals, and I was wondering if you would share a little bit about your transition from Chicago to why New Mexico?
So my partner wanted to relocate for a few years, and I was like, no. You know, I had kind of the golden handcuffs. My little sweet downtown Chicago was doing great. I'm like, oh my God, I can't possibly uproot this and take a chance. But then I just got a wild hair up my butt one day, and I was like, you know what? I think we need to do this and make the change. And without getting too woo-woo, I mean, you're a little woo-woo, so you get it.
I moved, just a little.
I really felt like subconsciously something had figured out, like, Dan, you're not being creative. You know, things are status quo. I had clients for 25 years, you know, nothing changed. I was like, oh my God, we can't change anything on this hair. And I think subconsciously something was driving me to be like, dude, you gotta go and do something different, because you gotta be creative, you know. And now I'm meeting like new people, you know, 3 new people a week, figuring stuff out, and it's exhilarating, you know, kind of scary, but you know, I think growth is scary, right? So I learned that firsthand. But so the transition was, I just thought, moving here, I gotta pull out all the stops. I gotta pool all my resources. I really felt like, God, if anybody's poised to do this, I would hope it would, be me with business experience and marketing, and I think my hair stuff speaks for itself. So yeah, we just did it. Went for it.
Well, I'm glad you're part of our community. I'm glad that you're here, and I think you add value to everything that we do.
Oh, wow, thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Rosetta Swarton, Timmy's Closet Image Consulting, and we've chatted a bit. But first I want to tell you, you can always leave your husband, but you can never leave your hairdresser.
I know.
Is that not true?
I know.
That's what we'd also soon quote. So I work with women, the everyday person who wants to get dressed and feel good, but they also want to look good with their hair. So let's figure out a way that you and I can collaborate with, I work my business through what goes around. Let's figure out a way that we can get you in there too. If somebody says, I like what I look, but my hair sucks, or whatever it is, that everybody deserves to feel good in who they are and embrace who they are in this moment. And I feel like there is a connection with hair and getting dressed every day. So let's make sure we somehow figure out a way to collaborate, because the world needs us. So, congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, we've talked about this a few times, and I do free consultations on video. And yeah, I would love to meet a group of people. I mean, you give talks, do you?
Yes.
Yeah, so I could weave my way into that, or?
Dan was so great. He asked if he could, give me a consultation, watch my hair. And I had to break it to him that I travel 100 miles to my hometown in Los Alamos to get my hair cut every 5 weeks, because I'm loyal. And that's what we want for you. Yeah, this is what we want for you while you're here, right?
Yeah.
So we'll find those people. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, Daniel made me cheat.
I mean, that's true. It's hard to leave your hairstyles, but I've also found there's always people, somebody retired, somebody moved, somebody left. There's always people looking for a new hairdresser.
Yeah, Daniel, well done. I mean, you took me away from mine as well. You're not, but yeah. But it's sweet. Yeah, sneaky. So a couple of things. When Ken was talking about going to assisted living or those kinds of places, the other thing I realized is that some of them also need graphic work. We're living in a community that's getting older, and they've got to attract that community to their facility. So,
And I mean the actual facility.
the actual facility. I've got a woman that I know who owns Ravenna, and she owns it. I'm just thinking, I don't know, maybe she wants graphic stuff, I don't know. So, nobody's behind me, so I'm going to ask you the final two questions. Number one, what can this community do for you? What's the one thing?
Just think of ways that I could collaborate with somebody for some type of exposure. I know you have to do a lot of free stuff, and everything I do is not going to be revenue generating, so I'm willing to do that and plant the seeds.
And then the last is our state question, red or green?
I would say green.
I would say green.
But actually, Phil has one more thing.
Oh, and Phil has a question, go ahead.
Okay. You've got some really good marketing information back from everybody in the audience there. I don't think I can top any of that. But one of your responses was, well, I should get onto LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I think, will do you well for your marketing site as a business. Yeah. And if you want to see newer areas or newer customers in your area, then if I were you, I would join the Chamber of Commerce, because the Chamber of Commerce will have a lot of the women's institutions and women's businesses that are affiliated with the Chamber of Commerce. So LinkedIn for your marketing business, and the Chamber for your hairdressing.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been to a couple chamber breakfasts, and yeah, I need to do a little bit more of that.
All right.
Thank you.
And the one thing on that, it's just like when Norm and I first started coming to 1 Million Cups, John Moore, who is no longer with us, said to us, you need to become one of the light fixtures. So when you join an organization like 1 Million Cups, become a light fixture. Just keep showing up. So thank you so much for your presentation. I appreciate you.
Thank you.